Lati. So I couldn't get my yoga intro up, you guys, but we are live. Give everybody a few more minutes to jump on here. I'm trying to play something that won't get my channel flagged. We are live. Gonna let everybody come in. Shouts out to everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. We are on day 2 of the 30 days of yoga. And we got a great conversation to talk about tonight. All right, make sure you're sharing on your social media pages. I'm about to share on mine real quick. I have my mother. Everybody should know, if you know me, you know her. And if you don't know her and you know me, or vice versa, then you ain't really that close with us.
Peace, love, and light, everybody.
I'm excited about our conversation. We are live. Okay. Did you have issues sharing it on your page, Mom?
No, I'm doing it now.
Okay. And you can share on your
Is it on?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh.
You're live.
I'm like, okay, you quiet.
Yeah, I just needed a few minutes to share.
Okay.
And I just did that. You should be getting people coming in, chiming in. It is 7 o'clock and everybody ain't locked down and people still out. It's warm outside. Well, we got to get started. Let me shout out to everybody on Instagram to let them know that we are live.
So can this go on Instagram?
No, it can't. It's
okay.
Just Facebook and YouTube right now.
Okay.
All right. Okay, y'all, we are back with another 30 days of yoga challenge. I'm super excited to have this very special guest because without her, there would be no me. It's my mother, Trizana Staples. And we are going to be talking about stroke recovery, prevention, and yoga. My mom is going to share a little bit of her journey because yoga has played a role in it. As you guys know, with the 30 days of yoga, this is a personal challenge that the magazine does every year to get as many people to relax and do yoga. Like, you don't even know how long that yoga can prolong your life. And it's really about helping you to be mindful and self-aware. And so that's my goal, to get as many people to do some yoga. Even if you can't do the whole 30 days, at least you did 5. At least you tried to do a week. But being intentional with taking the time to relax, to be still, to de-stress, because this world really wants us to be on the go, stressing ourselves out on, this hyper, let's do it, crazy, pressured lifestyle that we look at as success, but it's one of the things that are killing us. And it's my brother calling me right now. And so that's my ultimate goal. That's the mind frame behind the 30 days of yoga. I just want y'all to do some yoga. And we can do some yoga together, pretty much. But with this challenge, if you sign up, you go to the Natural Woman magazine site. I do have the link in the description box of these videos. We are just on day 2, so you are not that far behind. And with the 30 days of yoga, you get daily emails with yoga routines and just like a different daily yoga practice and why we're doing a particular practice. Today, we are working on the sacral chakra. Yesterday, we were working on the root chakra. And so we'll go through all the chakras for the first 7 days, and then go into deeper levels of yoga. So I'm super excited about that. And you'll also get access to our 30-day yoga featured emails, not emails, interviews, like the one I'm doing here, where I interview a yoga professional or yoga enthusiast or lover about how yoga has impacted their life. You'll also get a chance to be entered into our yoga giveaway that we'll be doing at the end of the 30-day challenge. And we do a weekly yoga class online in the Natural Woman Boot Camp. Our first class will be Saturday morning. And so if you sign up with the challenge, you'll get access to all of that good stuff. And just do something good for your body, pretty much. So, with further ado, let's get into the topic. Hello, everybody. I know, long time no see. I told y'all I was coming back. We got some content. Y'all about to be seeing me a lot more. Okay, so I can't call her Trezana, y'all. I gotta call her mom. So her name is Trezana, but it's mom. So let's really talk about
9.5 months pregnant.
All right, so let's get started. Let's really talk about who you are, what you do, and why I even chose you to be a person to talk about this topic tonight.
Well, who I am now, I am a stroke survivor. I had a stroke October 3rd, the day before your birthday.
Yes, I remember.
2017. And if you knew me before my stroke, I was just a busy person. I ran a nonprofit organization. And I was fairly active, working, administrating, teaching people how to fish, so to speak, to grow their own food, to live sustainably, to be healthy. But now, as a stroke survivor, I'm doing that now, but more intentional about being calm, cool, and collective. Because my stroke was a cryptogenic stroke, which means they didn't know what caused it. What I did know, but about 3 months prior to my stroke, I stopped doing the things that I enjoyed. I didn't take the time to care for me where I was caring for everybody else. Things such as yoga, riding my bike, hiking, gardening. I got so involved in life and having to be here, do there, and do everything. In addition to my dad had got sick prior to. So I was just everywhere. And because I had so much going on, I stopped doing the self-care stuff for me, because I'm the type of person that I internalize stress.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't cry and bitch about what I have to deal with. I just do it, but I was internalizing it, and I wasn't when I stopped doing those things to help me alleviate the stress.
Mm-hmm.
It just built up like a tea kettle and just popped. And I was in the hospital when I had the stroke, because I walked in, but I just walked in just to check my blood pressure, because I was feeling very fatigued. I just came off the road from burying my dad. Excuse me, I'm sitting in front of a window, and the sun is setting. So
Oh, you're fine.
I keep moving and the sun keeps moving. So
You bring the sun. The sun is attracted to you right now.
so long story short, I didn't have time for me. And it's very important, especially everybody, but especially Black women. We carry the weight of the world on our shoulder and we do everything and we don't complain, but some of us internalize that stress. And stress, there's no such thing as a stress-o-meter. You can't like a blood pressure gauge. You can't measure stress, but if you don't take care of yourself, and not just pedicures, but you really got to take care of yourself by eating right, go out and take a walk in nature, garden and things of that nature, because in the short 3 period time where I stopped doing it, it resulted in a stroke. And because of my stroke, I have aphasia because my stroke happened on the left side of my brain. So it affected my right side of my body. Um, I my I still have some weakness on my right side. And of course you were there. They told y'all that I wouldn't be able to talk again. I wouldn't be able to walk again. I wouldn't have any quality of life. They said that almost 4 years ago.
Yep. And she has worked mighty, mighty, mighty hard to change all of that. Because as you can see, she's sitting here walking, talking, using her computer, and started a nonprofit organization. She been she has totally rebuilt herself, and having to witness like my mom go through that was, I would say, traumatic. I think it changed our entire family and our family dynamic. But her story is a great inspiration. But then it also, I love how she's wanting to bring awareness to help people know that there are alternative ways to recover from stroke. Because I shared a few statistics when I was promoting our live session today, and it says African Americans are 50% more likely to have a stroke as compared to our white adult counterparts. It says Black men are 70% more likely to die from a stroke as compared to non-Hispanic whites, and African American women are twice as likely to have a stroke as compared to non-Hispanic women. So strokes hit our community really, really hard. They happen more often than what we think, and people think that's just a normal thing that we go through. And it's something that we can't prevent. And I know one of the best things, just from my research and understanding, that knowing how to manage and maintain stress is a big key. But before we get just into the preventative parts of how yoga can prevent stroke, I want to talk about how yoga was able to help you with your recovery.
Well, when I got out the hospital, and I was there for 45 days.
Okay.
I thought in my mind, I thought I was going to walk out like I walked in. But I ended up getting out of a wheelchair. So at the time, because of the aphasia and my brain was still healing, I didn't know what to think, because if I believed in what the healthcare workers were saying, And mind you, they probably just had to say the worst case scenario. But
Right.
I couldn't walk. And then but once I got home after physical therapy, occupational therapy, um speech therapy, I got better and better as far as my mobility and
Mm-hmm.
my speaking. It was a hard road. I was depressed. I was so broken. And when you have seen death, because if you have a stroke, that's the closest place you can be for death. If you and some strokes can take you out.
Yeah.
Everybody's stroke is different. Even babies have strokes inside their mother's womb. So anybody can have a stroke. It doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your race. Stroke is an equal opportunity. But as, as as people of color, we tend to have more strokes than any other race in this country because the post traumatic stress that we endure
Mm.
and the stress that we deal with on a daily basis.
Right.
So, mental health should be a priority. Mental health doesn't mean that you have a mental problem, it means that you're releasing the underlying stressors that you are having. Now, mind you, some people have strokes because their diet is off key. They're eating processed foods, and the key to life is to you have to feed your mind, body, and spirit. And I was doing the mind, I was doing the body, but I wasn't taking care of my spirit. And because I was missing that component, when I say not taking care of my spirit, when I stopped, when I got too busy doing everything else, I didn't have the time for meditation. I didn't have the time for yoga. I didn't have the time to take my daily walks in the park to Witten Woods or hike and ride my bike. I didn't have that time. So you have to make time. And I enjoy yoga because we had yoga at the organization that I ran. So,
Yeah.
we had yoga there, we had meditation there, we had healthy food there, and I got so swamped in working and helping everybody else, I was not taking care of myself. And you have to have mind, body, and spirit transformation so that you don't result in any health catastrophes, especially a stroke, because some people can't. Stroke recovery is not for the weak at heart because it's
Mm.
hard. I gotta get up every morning and do something. I have to get up and work. I take I do yoga. I take Tai Chi. That's a whole. Now because I'm retired now, I t- I do everything on a schedule now that I want to do. I don't have to uh, be at the office to make sure everything is working right.
Mhm.
I have to check in with myself and to make sure that I'm working right. And I
Right.
don't know if I answered the question, but
You did. You did. Just, I guess how yoga has been able to help you recover. Um, since the stroke? How has it helped with your recovery and some of the things you have gone through? And you did touch on that. So let me answer. We got a few questions from some of our viewers. Adriana said, I need a malpractice lawyer now. If you know of any, please. I had 2 strokes and the hospital told me nothing was wrong. Yeah. The hospitals
cover their asses.
They cover their asses. Because, and this is the thing, this is why it's so important for us as Black people. We need to make sure we have healthcare providers, but healthcare providers that are Black. I believe that's why we need Black hospitals, because sometimes when we go to hospitals as Black people and we're telling them our symptoms, they're looking at us as being over hysterical and not taking our pain or what we're going through seriously. Because sometimes what we're going through isn't a textbook thing. And so sometimes I've seen it on several different occasions where doctors and hospitals will dismiss us and some bull crap happens. And we get penalized, because I know one of the things when you were in the hospital, you could have possibly had a stroke shot to prevent the stroke from even happening, because you were in the hospital for a full 24 hours before the stroke happened.
I had my stroke 3 days after I was in the hospital.
Yeah,
I went to the hospital to check my blood pressure because I couldn't find any of my blood pressure cups. I used to have workshops and teach people how to check their blood pressure, because it's one of the things in our community that people eat bullshit, and you have to check your blood pressure. I couldn't find any of my blood pressure cups, so I went to the emergency room just to get my blood pressure checked. They ended up admitting me on a Saturday because they said they didn't have a technician, because they didn't know what was causing my blood pressure to be sky high.
Right.
And they said they didn't have a technician to run their MRI machine. So they said they couldn't get an MRI until Tuesday, I think. So I was there Saturday, Sunday, early Monday morning. If I'm not mistaken, you were there. You can tell me. I had a stroke.
Yeah.
I had a stroke in 3 different parts of my brain. So apparently I had 3 strokes back to back.
Yeah. And she did try to sue, but the hospitals covered their ass. I'm trying to tell you, you're going to have to spend some money, or I don't know how malpractice suits work, but hospitals, when it's their mistake, they will do their best to cover their butts and dismiss everything.
And
it can be very tricky.
And it's hard to get an attorney to take a malpractice unless the suit is cut and dry.
Right.
Unfortunately, from my experience, they're not trying to be what people see on TV is not the truth. These attorneys are not trying to waste any time. It has to be cut and dry. If it ain't cut and dry, and if the medical team covered their ass by the medical records, like putting stuff in there, they ain't gonna touch it.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say, they're not gonna touch it. I went through 20 attorneys.
Yeah. Yeah, so good luck with that. I hope you do find somebody, and hope they could pay, but they be hard to get. Sharita W from YouTube, she said her brother had a stroke 2 years ago. Just this Saturday, he had 3 seizures in a row, and they put him in an induced coma. He's still heavy sedative because he keeps seizing. One thing I've learned with seizing, one thing I know that helped my mom when she sat there and said that her the doctor said she wouldn't talk again. When her stroke hit, she couldn't talk. Like, she couldn't say words. Like, we sat there and watched her go through being able to sit up there talking to us to not being able to say any words. And her stroke was very, very severe. One thing I did do that I think helped was get her on CBD immediately. Because CBD, and I'm not a medical provider, so please do your own research, take it your own risk. But just from my research, from being involved in the cannabis industry and the things I've learned, I knew I had that intuition telling me, get your mama some CBD, because CBD helps repair brain neurons in the brain. And one thing we did that I think that helped us out a lot was she started taking the CBD oil. Was it on the 4th, October 4th? We had a stroke on the 3rd, and I went and got the stroke.
Yeah.
I got CBD on the 4th.
They didn't like that either.
What did you say? Oh, yeah. But she started saying some words. Probably took about an hour after taking the CBD. Her words were coming. She was saying stuff. And the hospital, they were so mad that we gave her CBD. Like, they didn't like it, but hey, you get paid to service us. Y'all don't tell us what to do. They're really trying to get her, they were trying to put a pump in you.
Yep.
It was a lot of things they wanted to do, and this is one thing I tell y'all. Yeah, that would have kept her to the point where she probably would have never healed and would have been stuck on all types of medicines and not been able to recover the way she wanted to recover if she followed, what the hospital standard of care is when it comes to healing from stroke.
Yeah.
And we took a more holistic path in addition to working with the modern medicine.
Yes, I think that I believe that modern medicine and naturopathic medicine can coexist. I'm living proof that it can. But you have to have a healthcare team that's willing to work together, because we still don't know to this day what caused my stroke other than stress. In my mind, even though I had a stroke, I couldn't talk to the outside world, but I understood what was happening.
Right.
I can hear everything. I just couldn't communicate it was a disconnect. But even with that, if it hadn't been for you and my mother, making sure that I had this CBD oil to start getting my brain to working, they probably would have had me on all type of pharmaceutical meds.
Yeah.
That I could not move or talk.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I came out of ICU, I'm like, I don't want to lay down. They were just wanting me to be strapped to a bed.
Yeah. Because, it's no money if you're healed in this medical system we're in. If you wanted to heal yourself completely from any ailment, they can't make any money. And so the system is set up to get you dependent on some type of medicine, some type of healthcare program, not to fully be healed. They want to treat. They ain't trying to heal. Exactly. And so that was one big thing. But I hope that you guys can help your brother. She said her brother couldn't talk either or move on his right side. Yeah, like, hey, I'm do your research, but I would definitely look into CBD oil if y'all haven't tried anything natural that could possibly help him. There are several stories. There are several stories of people who have had brain injuries where they couldn't talk, have seizures, and taking CBD and it stops it completely. Like, do your research. Something is possible to help them. So I hope that helps.
In case people don't understand what aphasia is, aphasia is not. It's just it's a condition that is affected by the brain that people cannot communicate, can't say words. It doesn't affect the intelligence, but um but it can affect how a person speaks or not speak. And my speech has gotten much better. I'm almost 4 years post stroke, whereas I couldn't say anything, couldn't say the words. I was like, ugh, I knew what I wanted to say,
Yeah.
but I couldn't get it out of my mouth.
Right. I used to watch her frustrated because I was like, she got all her wheels. They all spinning in there, but it just wasn't coming out.
And so, it's very important, like yoga helped me calm. Even though my yoga, I can get on the floor now, but most of my yoga, I have a great yoga instructor because the stroke affects my memory sometimes. So I do my yoga practices at home, but I also meet on virtual meeting with UC Integrative Medicine, and Sharon, what's Sharon's last name? I got to look it up. She's a yoga instructor, and so we have people who chime in virtually, and we do our yoga, and it's good. Community is, you have to have community. You can't just sit around not doing nothing, because my body would lock up.
Right.
If I didn't do my yoga, my stretches, I have to do them in the morning, because especially when it rains, my leg is so stiff I can't move it. So it's very important.
That's good. Adriana said this has been so helpful to her. I'm so happy to hear that. This is why we have these type of conversations and these kind of talks, because it's all about community. Sharita says that happened to me when I was 30. They said I had a nervous breakdown. I just could speak, but I couldn't understand everything. Yeah, definitely get that. So yes, everybody that's just joining in, this is Natural Woman Magazine, and we are doing our 30 days of yoga. We are just on day 2. And y'all already know with the 30 days of yoga, we do a weekly interview with a yoga lover and or professional. And this evening, we have my mom I brought on as my guest, Trizana Staples. I brought her on to talk about how yoga has helped her in her recovery, and to talk a little bit about stroke prevention and awareness and recovery. So we're going to take a quick little meditation break, y'all. So if you got to get up, use the restroom, just going to be gone for a few minutes. I'm not going to play the entire meditation because it's 7 minutes, but just to give us a few-minute break. And then we're going to come back and talk about your stroke recovery fund, and what that is and how that can help people in stroke recovery. So sit back, relax.
Before we go to break, let me say one thing.
Okay.
The yoga teacher, her name is Sharon Burns. Sharon Burns. And I behoove people, especially if they have limitations in movement. If you can't remember to do the yoga, or you need some motivation, she is an excellent yoga instructor for people who have limited mobility.
Okay.
And she teaches her classes virtually at the UC Gardner Neuroscience Institute.
Yes. And y'all, just so y'all know, and I just want to say this, I know a lot of people who have, who are watching this may have to deal with hospitals and doctors. Remember that they work for you. It's not the other way around. You can choose the type of care that you want to be subjected to. If you want, don't just do what they tell you to do. Because there are a lot of hospitals, not just here in Cincinnati, but all over, I can guarantee, that have programs that offer holistic alternatives towards your healing. Because slowly here on the West, that, you know, holistic healing is starting to be incorporated. But you got to be aware, you got to ask, because they're not going to just tell you.
I had to find out on my own. I didn't even know that they had opened up the integrative medicine. And then I was having a conversation with my speech therapist. That's how I found out. She said, oh, it's from people who had opioid addictions. I said, what about stroke patients?
Yeah.
So that's how I got involved.
Yeah, so there are resources, y'all. You just got to be aware and know, because if you just sit there and do whatever plan they have you on, you're going to be far worse than what you can be. You can recover. And I always say holistic is best. I always say Western medicine is good with diagnosing. Having her in an MRI machine was great to tell us that she had a stroke, but the healing got to take place holistically, because Western medicine is not created to heal. They're not in the business of healing. They're in the business of treating. Just had to say that. So we're going to take a quick break because I have to blow my nose. And we'll be right back.
On May 25th. And possibly
so are you saying on the frequency, like on the frequency level of like love? Like what's the frequency we need to be trying to vibrate to?
Peace. When you have what you need, when you have everything you need, you have peace. If you don't have everything that you need, you don't have peace. So that's why the ancient priests, the Kikuyu, would not pray for anything material. They never prayed for anything materialistic. They only prayed for peace. Because when you have peace, that is everything. Like I said, that orbit. You know what I'm saying? When peace, when you are peace, everything that orbits around peace brings you and provides everything that you need. Because if you don't have what you need, you can't have peace.
I want you to take this opportunity to get yourself relaxed and settled and ready to go within. Now, as you relax every drum of your body, taking a deep breath in and out, in, out, in, deep into your belly, and out. I want us to connect with Earth. As we form this connection, I want you to turn on the frequency to peace and understanding what peace means. Be at peace with your decisions. Be at peace with the past. Be at peace with the future. We have no idea how powerful being at peace has on your life. As you continue to breathe in and breathing out, I want you to focus on peace. I want you to focus on your peace. I want you to focus on. Y'all can go check out that guided meditation on the YouTube channel under Natural Woman Magazine or Aziza Nubia. If you would like to purchase the entire guided meditation album, you can go to AskNaturalWoman.com and check that out. It's an MP3 download of guided meditations with added solfeggio frequencies that can help you on your healing journey. There's a guided meditation for high blood pressure, which that's probably the one that's the one I wanted to play, but it's 10 minutes long. We got one for diabetes, healing from cancer, healing from heart issues, and one for peace, because peace is everything. If you can maintain inner peace, your world will have peace. And as you heard in the video, when you got peace, everything comes to you. Like a lot of times, life isn't going to be perfect because it's a lesson place for us here as human beings, but you can deal with the things that come your way. They don't defeat you or destroy you. You just got to know, get the inner world together. But we are back. This is 30 Days of Yoga. Thank you guys for joining in. If you have not already, make sure you sign up. We are just on day 2. Even if we are on day 10 or day 20, please sign up and let's get a few days of yoga in. This is an initiative with Natural Woman Magazine where we're just trying to get as many people to just take the time to relax, take the time to de-stress, take the time to, spend within yourself, because that's how you can change things in your life. Okay, especially when you feel like life is getting hard and down. And if you've been listening to the conversation we had before we went to break, yoga played a good role in you being able to maintain stress and deal with the day-to-day. And it wasn't until you stopped focusing on your self-care and healing and your self-care practices and taking the time for yourself, that's when your health took a turn, for the worse. This is my mother, y'all. You do not know. I thought she was the perfect guest to bring on. And we just been talking about stroke recovery, prevention, and how yoga has played a role. And she's been sharing a bit of her journey. So now I really want to get into the Trezana A. Staples Alternative Stroke Recovery Fund. Tell me a little bit about that, why it was created, and what does it do?
Well, it was created because I won't even go into the whole spiel, but the Alternative Stroke Recovery Fund was created to help other stroke survivors. So I had a hard time when I had my stroke, getting resources and understanding what to do, who to call, what places to go. I mean, you helped me with that, and we were hitting our heads to get me the help that I needed to get. And then as days went on and I started getting better, my chiropractor from Apex Chiropractic, y'all, off of Dr. Moji, he was very involved with my recovery, but that was one of the other practices I stopped going because I was doing everything else. But he focuses on stroke, on traumatic brain injuries and stroke survivors. But he helped me by giving me small things that I could be doing at home to help me with my speech, to help me with my walking. And so with the yoga, with the chiropractic, with the acupuncture, with the everything else, this is where I have gotten to be since. And mind you, I couldn't walk and I couldn't talk. So all these things happened. I didn't start incorporating these alternative therapies until about 7 months after my stroke. So I wanted to help other stroke survivors with having a fund to help them especially explore alternative methods of recovery. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, this is 2021, a lot of folks do not know about yoga, don't believe in yoga helps, don't believe in acupuncture, don't believe in chiropractic help or whatever. But then, since things are slowly coming into the 21st century,
Mm-hmm.
people have the access, especially this is a COVID era, but we can do these things online. So the fun is to help stroke survivors and their caregivers explore, and if need be, get them hooked up with a um uh a healthcare facility that offers alternative recovery plans, alternative recovery treatments, whether yoga, if I can help a stroke survivor with at least a month of yoga instructions with a yoga class, that week will change their life forever. So the goal of the fund is to provide a resource not only for alternative stroke recovery, but also for education, prevention, this information that we need, because we don't know when you're gonna have a stroke. We had no idea.
Yeah. I thought she was gonna be back home later on that night, that it was just gonna be something, get her blood pressure down, send her back home. We about to go back, watch the movies. And that it changed everything. Wasn't expecting it. Okay, so make sure y'all check out www.TrazanaStaples.com. Donate. It is like a recovery fund. Make sure and if you know anybody who would benefit from just this information, she's a wealth of information. She's been featured in books. She's becoming a well-known stroke recovery survivor / advocate, and getting the news out that there are alternative ways to heal. Your life does not have to, end because you had a stroke. You still have so much more life to live, and you can heal because the body was created that way. So make sure y'all check out www.TrazanaStaples.com. Also know that the link to her website is also added to the description of the video or this interview on Facebook and on YouTube.
So what we're doing right now with the fund, we have the charter for the state of Ohio. Okay. So now we're working on the 501c3. Okay. So there are levels to building this to make sure it will be a legacy to help once I'm gone, the fund will still be going to help, because not only that, like I didn't have a traditional caregiver, but even there are some people who need 24-hour care, and the people that care for them need to know about the alternative methods of healing. So this is information that will be in one place, and if possible, to also financially help stroke survivors to explore these alternative methods.
Awesome sauce. So make sure y'all support, share the link, make sure you follow. I think it's Trazana Staples on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. Because it's Trazana Staples on both the platforms, correct, Mom?
Yeah, Trazana Staples. This Trazana Staples on Instagram, Trazana A. Staples on Facebook, and Trazana Staples on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Alignable.
Okay, make sure y'all follow, make sure y'all support. She has a wealth of information, and she always got something going on. She's she getting interviewed or got to speak somewhere. So make sure y'all support and follow. I've really enjoyed this conversation. I hope that this conversation has helped someone to heal, as well as you may start the 30-day yoga challenge or try yoga or look into yoga. I know, like my mom said before, some people don't believe in yoga or think it's scary. I know a lot of people, when I talk to them, when they hear yoga, they think people channel spirits with yoga. And some things you do, it's not even that deep, y'all. At the end of the day, it's all about relaxation, stretching, being able to move. Movement activates your organs. Your organs are what houses your spirit. You know, if you want to have the best, type of life you can have, you gotta start paying attention to your body. You have to start giving back to your body. Yoga is a great way to help us focus on what's going on within us. Because like you said you internalize your stress. So some of us, like when I get stressed out, my mom know me, I start complaining, I get mad, I bust out crying, like I got, I can't hold it in. My mom, you won't even know stuff is bothering her. Never, ever. And I know it's a lot of people that are like that. And it's just really just killing yourself. It's poison to a certain extent, because every emotion creates chemicals within the body. And so it's important. And if I can get, like you said, one person to do yoga for a week, you could change their life forever.
Because I tell you, Aziza, after I had this stroke, nothing that happened prior was worth it. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is meant to be lived. Don't wait till you have a stroke to live your life. This stuff that we're dealing with is not important. Happiness, love, and cut those toxic people, toxic things out of your life and live. Because one day we're gonna die, but I ain't trying to die right now.
Right. Especially if it ain't your time.
Especially if it ain't your time.
You got a lot of life to live.
Don't I don't know if you noticed anything about me since my stroke. I don't deal with nobody who's negative, who's toxic. I cut that mess off. I don't want to hear it. If it don't do, I ain't trying to listen to your stories. I got to take care of myself. So I do my yoga. I feed my chipmunks and squirrels.
She is. I call her the hood Snow White, y'all.
I got a groundhog now.
She literally started off feeding the squirrels in her backyard. Now she feed birds, chipmunks, groundhogs coming. She is the Snow White of the hood. Well, she don't even live in the hood, but she the black Snow White because they love her.
I go out to my garden, and we know that a lot of stuff is happening in the world, but you can't allow these. Turn off the TV, turn off YouTube, turn off social media, and breathe, stretch, and get that prana in. I tell you, we have a life force within us. Don't have a stroke. Don't allow me to be the example. I had another chance. Somebody else may not, but just live and be happy, and just understand that this stuff is happening in the world, but you got to create your own happiness, and yoga will help you do that.
It really will. I've gone into yoga sessions tense, stressed, mad, and got out of that session feeling the tension melt off my shoulders.
Yes.
Like, that's how powerful it can be. So I hope you guys sign up for 30 days of yoga. Tomorrow is day 3. Again, it is an interactive on your own pace kind of challenge. You get daily emails with the yoga routine, some little information about the body, mind, and spirit. We do these weekly interviews. Next week, I will have another yoga enthusiast, and we'll have a yoga giveaway. We'll do a live yoga class on Saturday if you can attend online. So, it's just really an initiative to get us moving, get us relaxed, get our minds at peace. And it's super dope because we're headed into the fall equinox. We're going into the fall season, which is the perfect time to release and let go of everything that don't mean something for you right now. If it ain't got nothing to do with you and your embetterment, you need to let that stuff go. But I thank you, Mom, for coming on my platform
and
having this conversation with me. Make sure you guys sign up. Make sure you check out TrazondaStaples.com, Stroke Recovery. I know a lot of people have been probably asking what is going on with the magazine app. Our app is getting rebuilt, but it will be all the way back together and relaunched when the newest issue of Natural Woman magazine releases, which is September 22nd on the full moon, the harvest full moon. So make sure until that happens, you do check out www.asnaturalwoman.com. Make sure you sign up for our email list so you can get that notification. And yeah, that's what we're doing. I will see you guys next Wednesday at 7 p.m. We'll be back talking about how yoga helps motherhood and entrepreneurship and just help you find your peace. I'm excited about that conversation. So make sure you tune in. Thank you for watching. Shout out to everybody watching the recorded version of this. And thank you everybody who stuck with us and watched the live. Until next time, peace, love, and light.